Cats and other pets can feel like children who never grow up, which is nice if you like some of the many things involved in having a child, like having someone who needs you, who wants your attention and affection, whose life is enriched by your love and care. The story that Animals My Love would like to tell you today is about the love between a lady and her cat named Caspurr. He was an old black cat with a saggy belly that I first saw in a cage at Petsmart. He was missing large patches of fur and he looked very sad. The note on his cage said that his owner had passed away about 10 months prior, and he was one of 4 cats left homeless. The other 3 had been adopted. He was the only one that remained. It was early December and I was saddened by his situation, but I was in no position to adopt a cat. I already had a dog and an FIV-positive cat at home. I mentioned this to the shop lady. She said, "Oh, but you can have this cat as he only has about a year or so to live." My husband looked at the cat and said, "Let's hope he finds a home before we come back." The following week, my whole family goes to Petsmart, and of course, he is still there. The woman again says that I can have him, but I reply that I don't think my dog will like him, so she says, "Bring the dog in." I fetched my dog, and guess what? He really liked the cat. I asked the shop lady, "How long will he stay at Petsmart to try and be adopted?" She said until December 31st. My family agrees that if on December 31st, if he is still there, we will adopt him. We checked daily. All the other cats had been adopted, but not sad old Caspurr. By December 24th, my husband actually became increasingly worried that we would miss out on Caspurr. So he made me call Petsmart. We really wanted him. But they weren't able to release him until December 28th, which would have been my dad's birthday. My dad loved all animals and had passed recently. When my son and I went to collect him, they wanted to waive the adoption fee, but I refused, as I felt that Caspurr, formerly known as Caspurr, was certainly worth the $65 fee. They insisted on throwing in some cat food and a nice large and sturdy cat carrier, as he was quite a big boy. He didn't last long in the cat carrier once we were in the car. He sat on my son's lap and absolutely loved looking out the window. On the drive home, as it turned out, he loved car rides, unlike most cats, and he would happily sit in the passenger seat on a towel. He would also accompany me when I drove my daughter to school, a drive of over an hour long. When he got home, we walked the perimeter of the house for about 5 minutes and then settled down on the couch. Our dog jumped up and sat at the other end of the couch, and Caspurr promptly moved over and snuggled up to him. They became instant friends. I took Caspurr to the vet and questioned why he was missing large patches of fur, and the vet had no clue. A month later, I developed a ring-shaped rash on my forearm, and my 9-year-old daughter diagnosed me with ringworm. She said she studied about it in science class. Back to the vet, and this time I asked them to check for the ringworm. They tested him using a black light, and sure enough, he had ringworm. Ringworm is highly contagious, and I had to cover every surface Caspurr laid on with towels and wash them daily in hot water. Caspurr got his first ringworm dip at the vet's office and came home exhausted and miserable. My husband said, "This will not do. What are our other options?" The other option was to bath Caspurr every day for 6 weeks with a special ringworm shampoo. We followed the instructions to a T. Lather from head to tail, wait 20 minutes, rinse and repeat for another 20 minutes of lathering. The entire process took an hour and consisted of totally dunking him into a tub of water several times. Generally, cats hate water, but Caspurr tolerated it. When it was Caspur's bath time, our dog would sit outside the shower door to keep him company. Despite the fact that Caspurr had enormous teeth and sharp claws, he never once hurt me. Only once during his ordeal did he let out a little meow of a complaint. He was the most tolerant cat I have ever known. He went on to live another 8 years with us, and I stayed in touch with a volunteer who had first told me that I could have him. It turned out that she was a retired psychiatrist, and she said she knew that we were the right family for Caspurr. Caspurr died in my arms one morning. We scheduled the vet to come over to euthanize him, and had almost changed our minds. When I told my daughter we were having second thoughts, she said, "Have you lost your mind? The cat should have been euthanized months ago." I guess my husband and I loved him so much we couldn't tell how much he was suffering. He was nearly blind and had only 2 infected teeth left in his mouth. The teeth were so large and so tough to remove that the vet said she couldn't keep him under anesthesia long enough to get them out. The night before we had him euthanized, I laid with him and he let me know that it was time. The vet came to our house. Caspurr laid on my lap on his favorite chair, and the vet gave him a shot to calm him prior to the euthanization. Within 5 seconds of the shot, I told the vet that it was not necessary to euthanize him. I said he was already gone. The vet checked for a heartbeat and confirmed that yes, he was gone. So, sadly, I laid Caspurr on his favorite chair for one last time. It's been several years, but I still miss him. We had to get rid of the chair because we were so sad that there was no Caspurr sleeping on it. I have come to learn that the animal that no one wanted turned out to be the animal that I needed the most. Animals, my love, is collecting stories about animals, especially cats. So we need your support. If you have any good stories, please send them to animalsmylove999@gmail.com. Thanks so much, and see you in the next video.